Hello and welcome to the next episode of Chaos Travails. Today we're doing an open air episode. There's a restaurant over there, there's a park over there, but the albergue that we're in today, it's not an albergue, it's an albergue. It's like straight up dorm style. There are just 14 beds all in one area, so too many people. I'm out here. Okay, so I think where we left off yesterday was that I was a hot mess and I didn't like my hotel and I'd lost everyone. So lots of updates. One, ended up loving my hotel. I know it was a little pricier and there was no Wi-Fi, which was weird, but there was a pool. Now, I don't have a bathing suit with me, but I dangled my feet in that nice cold pool for like a while, and it was pretty great. And then the woman who owns the place, I was the only one there. There had been a big group through the weekend, but because it was Sunday night, I guess there was nobody else. So she took me on a personal tour of the actual mill. So this was, Casa Rural del Molinero, the miller's rural house. And it's this old school mill from 1908. And the story was about this dude who brought in his own internet by creating a mill like 30 miles away. Not a mill, a water wheelie. My brain's not working. To get the electricity and piped it in, and then he had all this electric stuff. It was super cool. Anyway, so we went down to the basement and saw this old machinery. I had a really good time with her. Put my feet in the ice water some more, and then I went to bed, and I got a great night's sleep, room by myself. Tonight, as I said, we're dorm style. There are at least 8 of us, and I am next to, you guessed right, Mr. Snore again. This time, I'm gonna wear earplugs. I'm ready. I have them, but last time I didn't want to find them. This time they're gonna be right on my pillow. So today, I left super early, like before the sun was even thinking about coming up, because I was like, I'm gonna get out ahead, that way in case everyone's around, they'll catch up to me because they walk very quickly. Well, they did catch up to me because I had to walk slow as all get out this morning. When it's that dark, even though you have a headlamp, the headlamp shows you more or less where the road is, right? Like you can stay on the road, but it doesn't show you where all the gigantic rocks are that are trying to kill you by turning your ankle. Also, all of a sudden I remember that there are like, dangerous humans and animals in the world, and I didn't want to be out there in the pitch dark with a light that like illuminated 3 feet in front of me. So I will not be doing that again, but it was still cool. It was nice to be out there on my own for a little bit. But so they did catch up to me, and then as usual they passed me. But I was originally going to go to Granja de Moruela, which is an older version of the route, which goes north and then mirror image, I think, for you guys. I don't know. North and then to the west. Or you can just take like this sort of loopy thing to the west and go straight to Tábara. So you can go to Granja a Tábara, or you can go straight to Tábara. But straight to Tábara is like, I don't remember, 16 miles, maybe more than I can do. But nonetheless, everyone was coming here, and I thought it was kind of silly to take an extra day to go north just to come straight here anyway. So I said, to heck with it, I'm gonna do the same thing. And if I have to figure out a way to take a taxi, I will. So they caught up. They got out in front of me. There was this one guy who had a map route that was different than mine, which gave me some anxiety. I like to cling to my map because then I know that I'm going the right way, but we followed his map. And then luckily, eventually, it joined back up with mine, so that by the time I lost them, it was okay. So we're walking on the side of the highway, and they crossed the highway and head off onto a dirt path. By this point, I'm well behind them, like a football field, as usual. And they're kind of like waving to me, oh, we're gonna go, oh, my camera's about to fall because it's windy. We're gonna go this way. And I was like, I signaled, yeah, that's fine. But then I get up to there and I realize that's not what my map says. And not only that, across the road where they said they were going, there were like 3 forks. And I didn't know which the heck fork they took. So I took out my phone that has internet, like general internet. And I was trying to look at the map and I saw how I thought they were going. But nonetheless, it seemed like the less direct route, and knowing that I wanted to take a taxi, probably, I didn't actually want to leave the road, because if I didn't know when that route came back to the road, and I didn't want to wind up stuck in some weird situation. Also, I really didn't want them waiting for me anymore, because it feels weird for people to be like, we're doing this. And I'm like, look, I've got a map, guys. We're fine. I will catch you in the next town. So they did their thing, I did mine, which, again, I actually quite like doing my own thing. It gave me a bit of a confidence boost to be like, I'm not going to follow you guys. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to follow this map. And yeah, that's what I did. So my route, unfortunately, though, was entirely on highway. An highway, like, without a lot of shoulder. Luckily, people just kind of like go into the opposing lane to let you through. But there were a lot of times where I had to step off the road to let people go because I didn't want to get too close to cars. So that slowed me down. But it's also nice because here people recognize pilgrims and they'll honk the horn and they'll wave, and it's kind of sweet. Today there wasn't a ton of that, but I had it throughout the thing. So there were some hills again. There was not as much nature, although I did catch a picture of a hawk, kind of. It's not very good. Now the Achilles injury, it was pretty well behaved until like mile 8.5 or something. And then it was a little bit cranky. So I pulled off, sat down for a while. I had to put on rain gear at that point anyway, because I had my like rain cover on my backpack since this morning. Because when I left this morning, 1, I had a thorn in my sock. How'd that even happen? 2, it was drizzling. But I didn't put any rain gear on myself because it was like barely raining, and it was kind of refreshing for me, but I didn't want my stuff to get wet. But at this point, it was more than barely raining. So I pulled over, rested a bit, ate some of the free fruit. I think I forgot to mention that. Last night when I went to dinner, I asked them if I could buy some fruit because all the stores were closed and I wanted fruit for breakfast. And this guy just gave me free fruit from his own trees, apples and tiny pears. It was so cool. So I pulled over to eat some of my free fruit, put on my rain jacket, rest a little bit. And then I looked like, what's between me and Tábara? Because my map didn't actually have anything, but I'd been promised that there were things between where we started and Tábara. Luckily the map agreed, like not the pilgrim map, the real map. And so I had another 4 miles to go from that 8.5 mile mark, a little bit more. And that was harder, I gotta be honest. From like 8 to 10, I kind of pulled it together. There were a couple of bad Achilles moments, but we made it through. But then 10 to, and it turned out to be just shy of 13. It was like 12.9. Those 3 miles were actually quite brutal. I was moving very slowly. I was in a decent amount of pain. And all I could think was like, you will get to this town, and you will take a taxi. Take as long as you need, but get to this town. I did pull over at one point and there was like less than nowhere to sit. Usually you can at least sit on some grass. I just sat in the mud. It was so sad. My pants are so dirty. But I sat once more when I was at like 11 miles. And then I did those last 2 very slowly. But I arrived, went to this bar. I had, another one of the claras, which I love so much, and an ice water. And the woman who worked there was super nice. She gave me a number for a taxi. I called a taxi. Taxi brought me here to Tábara. Now, while I was in the taxi from that bar to Tábara, I looked off the road out into the fields. There was the group. Ooh, camera. Out in the fields, walking away, and I was like, well, 1, I'm gonna beat them. 2, they're gonna be tired as crap. And 3, I'm so glad I'm not with them right now. I know that's terrible, but it's true. So I arrived. The municipal albergue was closed. The second albergue is closed. So all that leaves is a hotel. And the hotel was like $25, 25 euros. But I told the woman, you know, I'm not gonna pay right now because there's a big group coming. And if everyone decides that they don't want to do the hotel, maybe we'll all catch some kind of vehicle together off to the next town. She's like, oh, if there's a group of you that's big enough, I will open the albergue, because the albergue and the hotel, one of them, not the municipal, are actually joined. So luckily everyone came, everyone did want to stay, so now we're in that albergue. I ate another tortilla patata, but it had salchicha, which was so sad. So I was like picking around pieces of sausage. Way to ruin something delicious. I also had my first tinto de verano, which is wine with soda. They really like to mix booze and soda here. And I gotta say, I'm not mad about it. I know that if I went to a bar in New York and said, can I please have wine with Sprite? Or can I have that beer with Sprite? They'd be like, you're insane. No. But it's normal here in Spain, and I'm a fan. After that, just showered, washed my clothes and stuff. But now I'm trying to figure out what the heck to do tomorrow, because we've already found out that there is a lot that's closed between here and the next spot. And I've determined that my limits are 12 miles max. 13 today was pushing it. 10 is really the best. And I think I'm going to have to split off from the group, because they're seasoned Camino goers, pilgrims, and they're willing to put in the miles. Like if something's closed, they'll just go another 6 miles, and I'm not going to do that. And those are the conclusions I came to today, is that I'm not here to suffer or to torture myself. Why would I come to Spain to be miserable? And going that far and being in that kind of pain is miserable. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might find a way to walk somewhere and then taxi in, but taxis here are really expensive. I'm thinking maybe I'll just take a bus from here straight ahead a couple of stops and actually rest my Achilles for a few days. That feels weird though too. So I don't know. I really don't know. Or maybe I'll skip like way ahead and do the part that actually brings me to Santiago. So you have to do the last 100 kilometers to get your certificate. So maybe I'll skip way ahead and do super short stages for that last bit, get my certificate, and then figure out, okay, do I want to walk to the ocean now? Do I want to go back and redo parts that I missed? Do I want to go visit, I don't know, something cool? So it's all very up in the air. It's kind of hard to figure out public transit here. Bus schedules are not easily found online. Things are changing because of COVID. So I'm trying to be flexible. It's not always my strongest suit, but we'll figure it out. Super long update today. Sorry. I will let y'all go. I'm gonna go find some dinner, go to bed. Actually, find some dinner, figure out what the heck I'm doing with my life, go to bed. So tomorrow you'll hear all about whatever I decided. And hopefully that's not trying to tough it out through 18 miles or something stupid. Thanks. Bye, everybody.